Role-playing games are fun as hell. They also have a sort of language or culture to themselves. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 things only RPG gamers will understand. Coming in at number 10, the amount of times I have robbed a dead guy in an RPG is probably countless. Let's say I have to kill a bad guy. Hey, that bad guy has clothes, he has weapons, he's got items, and now that he's dead, those things are mine. I don't even have to have killed him even. If I just come across a dead guy, I'm checking. I wouldn't do that in real life. And yet it's just normal. It's instinct in a video game. If I've got a controller in my hand and I see a dead person, I am searching their body for stuff. And then there's people like Geralt of Rivia who are commenting about how you shouldn't be stealing from dead people, as he's literally an avatar for you to steal from dead people. Come on, man, you were there, you know. I used your hand to steal from the dead people. Maybe it's just some remorse. Maybe it's just him saying, I regret this, but maybe I'm not entirely in control, but since I'm in control of my mouth, I will attempt to say something about it. Yeah, it didn't sink in though at all, because yeah, every single game. If it's an option, I'm doing it. Coming in at number 9, when you do some annoying, boring, nothing thing, and get some item that you can't continue the game without from the person you did the menial, boring thing for. Oh, thanks so much for retrieving my valuable pot from down the river where I accidentally dropped it and the current took it away. It was probably interesting when you got halfway to the item and realized you couldn't continue on foot, needed to fashion a raft and go down the stream that way. Here's the key to the door in the dungeon that you need. It was me who had it. The minute I came across it, I was like, I am gonna withhold this in order to get some schlub to find me my pot that I accidentally dropped in the damn river. Eventually, somebody's gonna need this key to the dungeon. Right? Right? I'm sure of it. This is a rational point of view for someone to have. Sir, this is called hoarding. You just keeping items around, quote unquote, just in case. Yeah, it's not healthy. You should go to therapy, man. You don't need that key. Someone else does. Number 8, speaking of hoarding, when there is absolutely no situation that can get you to possibly use the healing potions that you are gradually building up a very large supply of. You start with low-level enemies, just collecting them, realizing, actually, no, you know what, I'm fine. I'm not gonna need these, I'll find an inn or something later, and I'll refill my energy. I'll be careful, I'll be smart, it'll be fine. Then you get a little further in, and you got party members dropping, but you're still just acting super careful. I'm gonna need these for later. You beat the boss with like an 1/8% of a hit point, because you got down then you're like, alright, doesn't matter how long this is going to take, I'm buckling down, I'm doing this the careful way. I gotta save my potions. And then you get to the final boss, and it's just the easiest thing you've ever done. You're not careful, you just attack like it's nothing. You're not even thinking about if you're getting hit. If you're getting hit, whatever. You get down to 75% and you're like, I'm gonna use the potions. This is the final boss. This is what I saved him for. And it doesn't even take 1/3 of your potions to beat the boss. You've got too many. And then the guy who is hoarding the key in the last point is like, see, you never know when you're gonna need it. Coming in at number 7, when you start the game as a bad guy, but you change halfway through to a good guy. And whether that means the story trope of the starting off on the street as like a hoodlum of some kind and becoming the petty crook that saved the world, or in an open world RPG where there's a lot of player choice and you're just like, actually I'm gonna be a dick to everybody in this game, and then halfway through you're like, I've been a dick to enough people. Like in Mass Effect, when you're just a dick from like the get-go, it's so hard to stay a dick, because everybody is just like openly pretty shamey at you, and you're just kind of like, well, this isn't why I'm playing Mass Effect. And then people think that because it works in Mass Effect, it works in real life, and half of everybody's arguments involve just saying the other person is bad. Yeah, 10 things only RPG gamers will understand, right? Coming in at number 6, when the writers who are writing the character that's giving you quests maybe forget that things have to escalate a bit for them to be believable. And like maybe one is like, here, take this bread to my neighbor. You take the bread to the neighbor and they're like, good job, now go kill a bandit for me. Whoa, we went from me like delivering bread to murdering people. That's a lot, man. Hey, so here's a sword I keep in my dungeon. Will you go slay the dragon for me? Oh yeah, cause me delivering that bread gave some indication I'm qualified for that. Sure. Yeah, blowing up that Mako reactor definitely proved I was capable of beating Sephiroth, taking the black materia back and preventing Meteor from destroying the planet. Okay, that last one is a little hyper-specific, and the first event was maybe a little more extreme than delivering some bread, but whatever. Point is, things got way out of hand with very little provocation. Let's be clear, saving the world from Meteor is to blowing up a Mako reactor as killing a bandit is to delivering bread. I am firmly in that camp, as I argue with absolutely no one over this. Number 5, that one really overpowered weapon that has really limited ammo and you can't help but just save it. Like, you never want to use it because it's gonna be gone forever. You don't know if you'll get it again. Like in Fallout, when you get a Fat Man, it's not exactly that. I mean, there's more than one of them in the game, it's just a rare one. But it's also like, you know, I'm not gonna use this here. For whatever reason, I almost never really actually use a Fat Man. It's too much. There's plenty of other games that have something like that, like even games where there are no guns per se. Sometimes there's a sword that's just absurd and there's no reason for it to exist, especially if one considers the in-game lore, and it may be temporary, or it may be just overpowered to an extent that makes the game less fun. Coming in at number 4, realizing that the hardest part of any game that allows you to do it is character creation. This is actually a reason why I tend to not really try hard in character creators, because I don't want to get stuck there. I don't really want to prioritize the appearance of my character over playing the game. And with how much you can actually do in a character creator, especially nowadays, it's very easy to get sucked in. In fact, it's so easy to get sucked in that you may get an hour into the game and realize, oh, I don't like this thing that I did with the character, I need to restart the game and do it differently. I don't like my character's shoulders. They're not how I would want them, ideally. Better do another hour of adjusting the proportions of a virtual person. Can't get that time back, and yet here I am. And I just can't get the colors to look right. The clothes I picked are so cool, but the colors don't work. When did I become a fashion designer? I just wanted to slay dragons. Coming in at number 3, speaking of those overpowered weapons, let's say there's a boss that you have to beat in order to get them. They're like the ultimate boss. In Final Fantasy VII, which I've already referenced, for instance, they're literally called like Ultima Weapon. And when you beat them and you get the ultimate weapon, everybody else is much easier. There's no challenge left. You just have the most powerful weapon now, that's that. It's like when you win the lottery and get $1.6 billion, which has never happened to me. But I have to imagine that the challenge of life becomes no more. It's just comfort, 24/7. It's no fun in that, right? Alright, well maybe that's not completely comparable, but I do have to imagine it'd become a little bit boring that you have nothing left to conquer. I think that's why some of these guys are just like trying to go to Mars. Dude, there's stuff to do on the planet, you know? No, I already have the Ultima Weapon. Money. Coming in at number 2, and this is actually a great one transitioning out of that. When you got money in a game, and you can save it, and you can buy a house with the money, and they give you several different houses, and you say, you know what, I'm getting the best house and that's gonna be the point. Then you start doing everything in the game that can get you money, which, by the way, in games that are like that is often just every part of the game. So you end up doing the game with the point of raising money to get the best house in the game. Then you get that best house in the game and it's like, well, I've done everything in the game now, what am I gonna do? I mean, why am I still playing this? So that virtual house that you spent all of that time putting all of that work in, it doesn't matter. Yay! It's like a whole new meaning to the phrase, you can't take it with you, because you really can't, because it's just in a specific game, and the other games, your house doesn't matter there. And finally, number 1, when you climb down into the underbelly of the world, down through an abandoned cave, mine, crypt, or basement, and there's old barrels, clearly rotting themselves. The wood no longer in pristine quality, the metal rusting through. You search the barrels and find fresh fruit and vegetables worth 10 hit points. Of course I'll eat it, it's fresh. How? I don't know. There's mystical creatures flying around in the air trashing the world, and this is the thing you're concentrating on? How the fresh vegetables in the basement are fresh? Sure, yeah, that's the weirdest thing. No, but it actually is really weird. It seems like something somebody on the game design side would have thought of and been like, maybe let's put something with some preservatives in that barrel, like some salted rabbit meat, perhaps. And a quick bonus point for you, when you're walking around a town and looking at the citizens as they go about their day and you see a dog and you think, I'd love to go up to the dog. It's a dog, of course. And when you go up to the dog and press talk or action or whatever, the dog just has like a speech bubble that says woof or bark. That happens in so many of these games. And it's like, why don't you just let me pet the dog, maybe? Nah, you know, whatever. I should expect it at this point. I should have known. Did this list jog your memory of anything you know people who don't play RPGs will never understand? Or did you just happen to really be like, yes, this one very much for me, yes? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and if you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click like, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.